So, a few days ago on my social media feed, I brought up the fact that the reason I feel two of my favorite franchises of all time, and the community that it spawned, are the King Kong community, the King Kong franchise, and the Inuyasha franchise. The reason for that is because I compared it essentially to Star Wars. Because you look at the Star Wars community, and I've even noticed it can be pretty damn toxic, despite me loving the whole thing. But it is the most divisive fandom I've ever seen. And the reason I think Kong and Inuyasha are better is because no matter the adaptation, no matter whatever is new that they put out, we enjoy it, we love it, we appreciate everybody who worked on it, we don't nitpick it, we don't choose, you're allowed to choose which ones you like, which ones you hate, but it's all to a degree where we can stay fair, we can stay balanced, and there's no issues, there's no controversies, there's no toxicity in going after cast members or anything. In terms of these fandoms. But I guess you could say the Kong community has dealt with this, but for the Inuyasha community especially, we can kind of relate to loss that Star Wars has. Because for us, this is essentially our Carrie Fisher. We got word today that a huge cast member and character actor, and one of the greatest talents in Canadian voice acting has left us. That being Kirby Morrow, who did the voice of Moroku on Inuyasha, easily his best role, but he was also the voice of the title character in Kong the Animated Series. Now, for those who don't know, Kirby was actually a friend of mine. Actually, very recently in the last few years. And to bring up sort of, I guess, my, story about Kirby is that, I grew up with both, obviously King Kong, the movies, and, Inuyasha. But I knew Kirby from a lot of other works. He was the voice of Goku in the Ocean dub of the later seasons of Dragon Ball Z. He was that kid from Yvonne of the Yukon, which was a really weird show, guys. Look it up. I know he's done a few things for LEGO. He's done a few things for LEGO Ninjago. But he's also done things for Star Wars. Believe it or not, he was the voice of Anakin Skywalker in some of the LEGO Star Wars shorts, which I haven't seen, but I heard they're really good. I've heard his voice. He's a decent Anakin. Or he was. So, for me, today has been pretty damn hard. Because not only am I losing a good friend today, who has been very supportive, but, he also, I feel like even though I've known him for only a few years via social media, I felt like I lost a comrade that I've been with for over 20 years. When Inuyasha first started airing, I was, in my pre-teens, teenage years, going through school after school. I went through a pretty significant event in my life that wasn't in the best place at the time. I bring this up in my Dragon Ball Evolution review, that characters like this actually were the only friends I had because I was very unsocial. I was not a person who talked to many people in school. It wasn't until my later years, as I matured more, I've gained a lot more people, a lot more friends, and a lot of you guys. And these characters stuck with me because they were people I could actually really believe that they were, in a way, there for me every night at 8:30 p.m. on YTV watching Inuyasha or Dragon Ball, and I could be able to escape from the bullshit reality we have in our world to a place that I can feel safe, secure, and enjoyed and happy. And a lot of that is contributing to the voice actors who do the English dubs for these shows. Kirby is no exception. He owns the part of Moroku, the traveling lecturer's monk who has the wind tunnel and all that, and I've discussed the show in my vlogs, which I will be doing next year, and I will also be doing the movie, and I'll be paying absolute tribute to him there. But this is about him now. What was great about him as Moroku as a character is that he gave that part charm, charisma, bravery, and an overwhelming arc that really worked. And when you see later on in the show, without giving too much away, how much that character overcomes so much more over time and eventually forms a really sweet relationship with Sango, it pays off big time. And there's moments in this show that you feel like this could be his last stand. And Kirby made that performance his own. He made that character his own. He was able to present it in a way that wasn't too lecturous and wasn't too creepy, but was charming and was engaging, where you sympathize with this character and you see his backstory and you see the friends he's made and the romances he's bloomed over time. And it's a character that has a goal and you want to see him win. And you want to see him win big time. And Kirby just made that work perfect. He nailed it. It's easily the best performance of his entire career. So, I grew up with a lot of his work. And I didn't find out what he did until I met him and I talked to him a lot and everything. And I was very surprised. And I'm not only friends with him, I'm friends with a few people in the Inuyasha voice acting cast. Kelly Sheridan is a really nice person. I've talked to her a few times. David K follows me on Twitter. He's a super cool dude. Really love his stuff. But Kirby really supported me a lot. When I've been, as you guys know, if you guys watch my Inuyasha vlogs, I've been promoting that on my Patreon. I have plans to do an Inuyasha fan film. Now, I've been planning it for over a year, like just writing-wise and prepping a budget and everything. And when they announced the sequel series, I was excited, but I was also like, you know, I wanted to do a sequel series. But so far, I've been really enjoying it. And one of the biggest factors to not only the show returning, but also me rewriting some of this to fit better is because of Kirby. Kirby did return to voice Moroku for the English dub of Yashahime, and I don't know if he recorded everything that he was supposed to do. I mean, obviously, the big twist here is that the whole cast knew about this for probably almost a year, and they probably worked on it along with the Japanese recording, so they were able to match what they were doing. I don't know all the behind-the-scenes details. But with Kirby, he obviously provided the voice of Moroku in the first episode, which was fantastic to hear him again, along with the rest of the cast, Richard Ian Cox and so on. But with Kirby, in terms of writing this fan film, one of the things I actually did, because I wanted to make sure I got this absolutely correct, was I did reach out to a lot of the voice actors saying, what would you like to see? What would be something, if you had the creative freedom to expand on the mythology, about the world and everything? And Kirby was very enthusiastic. He really supported my work. He really supported my projects. I was telling him I was doing these vlogs. He said, dude, go for it. That sounds amazing. Thank you so much. A lot of the voice actors have been very appreciative of what I had to say about the show, because I felt like I was the only one defending this show for over a decade, and now that it's back and the community's back, it's just wonderful. So, with Kirby, he was very supportive. He actually gave me a few ideas I don't want to give out here, but I may end a behind-the-scenes thing way down the line if I get to this project. He made some suggestions that I will be staying true to when I write more drafts, when I write more scripts, because he gave me a few ideas, a few other voice actors gave me ideas, and I'm going to be paying tribute to Kirby in that sense. So, this is a very, I mean, I'm still mourning. I've just got the news maybe about 5 hours ago, and I just wanted to get this out now, because when am I going to talk about it? Because I just feel like this is the right time. And I'm in shock. 47 years old. The guy was 47. How? How does life take something so young and so talented and so amazing and a kind-hearted individual and just gone like that. I don't understand. This whole year has been a ride and a half, and this was just a big kick to the nuts, especially for me, because this hits close to home. When it comes to Kirby's other works, obviously Kong, the animated series, I would recommend everybody checking it out just for this this time alone to appreciate his work. I've said my piece about the show. I might review... No, I've really thought about it. I really might consider reviewing the two movies that were made separately, because I only passed by the show because it just didn't catch me. But maybe I'll give it another shot for him, because I really think there's some things I could point out that I didn't say in my original review. Honestly, I'm not very happy with it in looking back, because it was so rushed. So I'd recommend watching the show. He was actually... Him and the entire Ocean Studio cast made that show kind of work. Even though the writing was a little... they made it work. They made it watchable. If they weren't involved, this would have been awful. But they made it work. In fact, it is better than Kong King of the Apes. But with Kirby, it's his show, I know. This is a toughie. This is one of the tough ones where I don't talk about celebrity deaths. I don't talk about famous people and their impact often, especially if they don't really impact me much. And there's been a lot this year. Kirby wasn't just some celebrity. He wasn't just a voice actor. He wasn't just an amazing, talented individual. He was a good friend. And really, despite me only knowing him for a few years, I felt like I knew him for 20. He had my back thick and thin, whether it was him or his character of Moroku, along with the entire Inuyasha cast. And if they're watching this, I really want to thank you for getting me out of the darkest areas of my life when I was in my teenage years. You've been a massive help, and especially Kirby. It's not gonna be the same without you, man. Like, this is gonna be a hard pill to swallow. So, my condolences to his friends, my condolences to his co-stars of the show, and my condolences and respects to his family. I hope they are able to overcome this terrible loss and really show a shine to Kirby's work. I'm trying to say this without choking up, because, man, this one hits hard. So, what else is there to say? Man, Kirby, I'm gonna miss you, buddy. I'm gonna miss you a lot, and it's a shame we never met. But I absolutely value the experience and guidance you gave me in terms of writing, in terms of being creative. And again, even though we never met, even though we were friends on social media, I'll always be grateful for that. And to you especially, man. So, rest in peace, Kirby Morrow. We're gonna remember you, man. This wind tunnel's for you, buddy.